is up, Taters, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be going over the new Youngla for hair pieces that are going to be dropping for this year's Black Friday sale that is going to be lasting from November 25th to December 2nd. So one entire week. Everything on the website is going to be 30% off with the use of my code TATER. So let's get right on into this haul. And per usual, everything will be going live on November 25th at 12 p.m. PST, 2 p.m. CST, and 3 p.m. EST. So I will be sharing a countdown over on my Instagram stories, just in case you guys need a little extra reminder the day of launch. You can turn on the notifications for that, and it will alert you the minute that the drop goes live. But the sale itself will actually be lasting the entire week. So all of the new pieces and all of the restocks will officially go live on the 25th. However, everything that is listed on the website is going to be an extra 30% off with the use of a code until the 2nd of December. And as always, before we get all the way into this try on haul, let's go ahead and go over my height, weight, and measurements. I am 5'8", I'm about 130 pounds. My measurements are 34, 26, and 40. That is a bust, waist, hip ratio. And I, of course, will be sharing every single size I choose to get in every single item. All right, and first things first, we have the new Youngla for Her Batman collab pieces. We do have these new Batman bandeaus, and these are gonna come in 3 different colorways, which I do have all 3 on hand. We are gonna get this purple colorway, which I have on here. We are also going to get a black colorway as well as a gray colorway. And then really quickly going over all the details off body on these sports bras, we are gonna get this cool stitching throughout these. We are also going to get this little Youngla on the front. And then on the back of these sports bras, we are going to be getting a bat symbol. And then the inside of these sports bras all the way around is gonna have like a little rubberized piece that sits on the top. And this is going to sit on your skin to make sure that your bandeau doesn't slip and fall. And then with these bandeaus, as you guys can see, they do kind of taper in the back a little bit more than the front. So it's not just going to be almost like a tube top. This is actually going to be like a bandeau sports bra where the back is super, super thin. I love it because it provides just like the perfect open back little look. And then of course, with all these sports bras, we do get removable cup pads in these. So you can either choose to leave those in or take those out, whatever you please. And then as far as my sizing on the bandeaus, I did choose to get these in a size medium. However, I will say I should have sized down to a size small. I do suggest for everyone to do a size down unless you are just a very, very blessed woman. I would suggest sizing down just because you want bandeaus to fit you a little bit more snug since there are no straps there to help you hold them up. Just to go ahead and show you guys what the medium looks like on me, this is how the medium in the bandeau fits on me in the purple colorway. As you guys can see, it kind of does the tapering in the back. I love, 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 love these bandeaus. I just wish I would have gotten a size smaller. And then here is what the black colorway looks like on. And then this is what the gray colorway looks like on. And next up we have the new Batman shorts, which I have on here. And we are gonna get these in the same 3 colorways that we get the sports bras in. So we are gonna get the purple colorway, which I have on here. We are also gonna get the gray colorway and the black colorway. And then again, really quickly going over all the details on these shorts off body. You are gonna get a really, really thick, super compressive ribbed waistband around these. And you are gonna get some really cool detailing that kind of contours the sides of your glutes. And you are gonna get like a little V taper in the back of these. Now with the contouring here, this is not like stitched in or anything. It's just kind of a part of the fabric. So it does stretch with the fabric. You're gonna get this little metal bat emblem in the back of these shorts. And then these do come with a booty scrunch. Personally for me, these shorts fit a lot different than any other short we've ever gotten from Youngla in the past. These feel like a really, really high performance athletic material. They're a super, super thick, super, super compressive athletic material. And then in these shorts, I did choose to get a size small. Sometimes I'm in between a medium and a small. I will go ahead and say I think the small in both the purple and the gray fit absolutely perfect. However, I have noticed that the black do fit just a little bit more stiff and they don't have quite as much stretch. So personally, I should have sized up to a medium in the black, but I would say to my size small in the purple and the gray colorway. And then as always with bottoms, let's go ahead and go over the cellulite coverage and squat test. So as you guys can see here, I do have a little bit of rippling on my thighs. I do typically have some rippling on my glutes as well. However, these are such a thick material. I'm really not seeing any rippling coming through on my glutes. So I would say that these do provide a really good amount of cellulite coverage. And then before we get into the squat test, I did want to point out that the butt scrunch on these is not like a super out there, notice me type of butt scrunch. This is just gonna be a really subtle butt scrunch, giving you some separation to the cheeks, but not completely like being like an inch wide butt scrunch. All right, and here is the squat test on these. I'm not seeing anything show through. Like always, I am wearing nude underwear underneath these. I always suggest to all of my girlies to either wear nude underwear or, of course, you can go commando if that's what you like. Even if I had colorful underwear on, I would think that these are going to be completely squat proof just because of the super thick compressive material. And here is the black colorway on. As you guys can see, I do have some rippling here on my thighs, and then I do typically have some rippling here on my glutes. However, again, since these are such a thick compressive material, they are providing a really good amount of cellulite coverage. And then going in for a squat test in these. Again, I'm not seeing anything show through, so I would say that these do pass the squat test. Even if I had colorful underwear on, these aren't even like stretching and showing anything. They're not sheer at all. These are a really, really good material for squats. And then lastly, here is the gray colorway. And then I did want to go ahead and pull one side down to its normal length. This is how the shorts are going to fit on the body naturally. I do personally prefer to put this little like band right underneath my glutes just to help my glutes pop a little bit more. However, if you don't want your shorts to fit quite as short, these are going to fit you just a little bit longer. And then while I have these pulled down, I do want to show you guys that even whenever the shorts are pulled over my cellulite on the gray colorway, it still is covering the cellulite that you would typically see here. And then again, I'm not seeing anything show through on my glutes. So I would say that these do give you a really good amount of cellulite coverage. And then going in for a squat test on these, I'm not seeing anything show through. Oh, I do have a string that's just kind of floating around right there. I would say that these do pass the squat test. I didn't see anything. I also didn't see any like super sheerness from the stretch. I do think all of these colorways are gonna be a great choice no matter what if you are worried about either cellulite or squat proof. All right, and next up we have the new Batman leggings. These of course are going to come in the same 3 colorways as the sports bras and the shorts. In these I do have the black colorway and the gray colorway on hand, so we're gonna be putting both of those through the squat test and cellulite coverage test. And then really quickly going over the leggings off body. As you can see, we do get that same kind of compressive ribbed waistband on these. You do get the same kind of like contouring all around, except it does go all the way around the legs just because these are full length leggings. You are gonna get that same butt scrunch and little V taper in the back. Then of course the front is also going to come with some little bits of contouring. And then with these leggings, they are the same as the shorts. These are a really thick, nice, compressive, athletic material. And then in these leggings, I did choose to get a size medium. I prefer a size medium in all leggings just because I am a little bit on the taller side. So I like to be able to kind of like pull up my leggings to be an actual high-rise legging with a little bit of the extra fabric that I get from a size medium. And then I will say, like the shorts, the black in specific is just a little bit more stiff than the gray pair that I have. So these have just a tiny bit less stretch than the gray leggings do. Right, and going over the cellulite coverage on these, as you guys know, I do typically get my rippling here in my thighs. I also do typically have some rippling on my glutes. I'm not seeing any cellulite show through in either spot, so I would say that these do provide a really, really good amount of cellulite coverage. Then going in for a squat test on these, I'm not seeing anything show through. These are that same super, super thick compressive athletic material, so these are going to be squat proof. And then here are the gray leggings. As you guys can see, there is not any cellulite showing through on my thighs or on my glutes, so these do provide a really good amount of cellulite coverage. And then going in for a squat test on these, I'm not seeing anything show through, so I would say that these do pass the squat test. All right, and next up is the new Batman lived-in tee. I am in love with this shirt. It is going to only come as one shirt, so one color choice, all that jazz. So it's just this shirt alone, but it's so, so, so comfy. This is going to be a really lightweight feeling shirt. I absolutely love these. They're also really, really soft on the outside. They remind me a lot of like the vintage tees that we got in the past, the white ones that have like the little red hearts. And then it is going to be on like this black wash colorway. And then the bat on this is actually a true black, as well as the Youngla back on this. It is also in a true black on like a black wash tee. And then in this tee, I did choose to get it in a size extra large because I like my t-shirts in particular to be really, really oversized. So extra large is the biggest size that Youngla for her makes. And this is how a size extra large fits on me. And then with all of these Batman pieces, we are also going to be getting a Batman seamless pullover. This is going to be kind of like a quarter zip tight pullover. It's gonna fit you kind of like the BBL jackets that we've gotten in the past, very like slim fitting, almost kind of cropped, but it doesn't have the full zipper. It is only going to be a quarter zip, and it's gonna have just like some little foldable collars on them. You of course are gonna get these in the same 3 colorways that you get everything else in the Batman collection in. I probably would have chosen a size small, so for anyone that needs sizing reference, I would have gone gone with the small with my measurements. And we are also going to get a Batman baby tee. This is going to fit just like any other baby tee from Youngla. This one is only going to come in one colorway and one kind of like design. It is going to be a black baby tee, and it is going to have a little Catwoman like design on the front. I would choose a size small as far as sizing goes. All right, and up next we have the new Motion Seamless collection. I am obsessed with every piece of this collection, but we are going to be starting with the new Motion Seamless twist bra. Now this is going to be a long sleeve twisted bra, so it is going to be about bra length. It's not necessarily going to be crop length, and it is going to be fully long sleeve. I know sometimes long sleeves can be scary because they seem like they're going to be really, really compressive and uncomfortable in like your armpits or on your arms after a little while. These are made with such a stretchy material that it literally feels like a second skin. Like, I couldn't tell you that I have a long sleeve on right now, except for the fact that I see I have a long sleeve on. Like, it feels amazing on the body. And in these twist bras, we are going to get them in 5 different colorways. I do have on the carbon green colorway here, which I absolutely love. It's like a really, really deep, rich green. And then I do also have the black colorway on hand. And then in both of these twist bras, I did choose to get a size small. I absolutely love, love, love the way the small fits, especially if you are a smaller chested girly. These are so stretchy and forgiving. I would definitely go with a smaller size if you are in between sizes. Otherwise, you guys can stay true to size on these. And then in these twist bras, we are going to get removable cup pads in these. You can either choose to leave those in or take those out, whatever you please. And in the back of these is going to be a full coverage. So actually it does provide a pretty decent amount of support. I can't really say much for my bigger chested girlies just because I don't really have the girls to test it out with. I will say that I do feel pretty held in with these. And then this is what the back of the twist bras are going to look like. Like I said, you are going to get completely full coverage on these. Here is the black colorway in a size small. I absolutely love the way that these fit. They're just so stinking comfy. Another way that I really like to style these is with a t-shirt on over it. So it looks like you're wearing like a full-blown long sleeve underneath a big giant t-shirt. And obviously you can take off the t-shirt, and then it's like you still have the breathability of like a sports bra, but you're still covered. I don't know. I just think these are so, so pretty. And they make me feel so, so feminine. Like sometimes I feel like in athletic wear, especially being a part of the itty bitty committee, I feel like sometimes I don't always feel the most feminine in my workout clothes or just clothes in general. So whenever they put cute little details like this little twist, like I just actually feel like a girly pop whenever I put these on. So I am absolutely in love. You're also going to get these in a brick, pink, and cream colorway. And don't you worry, I do have the brick, cream, and pink colorway in some of the other Motion Seamless pieces. So you will get to see those colors on camera and like in person and how they look on my skin tone and just like on camera in general. Right, next up, we're going to go into the new Motion Seamless leggings. I love, 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 love these leggings. We're going to get these in 6 different colorways. I of course have on the carbon green colorway here, and I do also have the black colorway on hand. And then quickly going over the details on these off body. I don't know if you guys can see because it's the black colorway, but you do get a ribbed waistband, which is just a little bit thicker than the leggings themselves and a little bit more compressive. And then these leggings are going to be an extremely stretchy, forgiving material. I absolutely love these. These do not feel like you're wearing leggings. Like, they feel like a really good performance-based legging. They don't feel like the typical buttery soft legging, but they also don't feel like real leggings. Like, they don't feel too compressive where you feel like you're just being squeezed all the time. I could literally wear these leggings all day long. And then as you guys can see, you do get just a little bit of like a shade detail going down the side. It doesn't go completely under the glutes, but it does help kind of accentuate on the side of the glutes. And then we are of course going to get your typical Youngla logo on these, and then you do get a single butt seam. However, it is not a butt scrunch. So it does help give separation to the cheeks, and they did make a little bit of like a curved stitch around the glutes to make your glutes pop just a little bit more, but you don't have to worry about having a super, super big noticeable butt scrunch on these. We are also going to get them in a brown, pink, brick, and mint green colorway. Don't worry, I do have some of the other colorways in the shorts as well as in the skirts that are going to be dropping, so we will be testing those for squat proofness and all that jazz. But let's go ahead and go over the cellulite test and squat proofness in these. And then here are the carbon green leggings. You guys know I typically get my cellulite here on my thighs as well as on my glutes. However, I'm not seeing any rippling show through on my thigh or my glutes on these. So I would say that they do provide a good amount of cellulite coverage. And then going in for a squat test on these, I'm not seeing anything show through, so I would say that these do pass the squat test as well. And then here is the black colorway, again in a size medium. As you guys know, I typically have some rippling here on my thighs as well as on my glutes, and I'm not seeing anything show through. So I would say that these do pass the cellulite test. And then going in for a squat test on the black colorway, I'm not seeing anything show through on these either. So I would say that the black passed the squat test. I will say, as far as stitching and all of that goes, these fit similar to the curve seamless. However, they are just a bit of like a different material. Personally, this is probably my favorite material legging / short that Youngla has ever done. It just feels really, really good on the skin. It feels like you can move in it, you can breathe in it. It's not too compressive, but it's also not too stretchy to a point where you can see everything through it. Like, I really, really, really do love these leggings and shorts. And honestly, a lot of the motion seamless stuff just feels like so good on the skin. Next up, we have the new Backless bodysuits. These are going to be a part of the new Motion collection, and I am absolutely obsessed with the way that these fit. These are going to be fully zippable. Like, I could zip this all the way up to my neck. However, well, I'll go ahead and show you. My mic's gonna be right here. As you guys can see, it goes all the way up to your neck if you want it to be very, very high neck, or you can do like a partial unzip if you want. That's kind of how I like to do it, just because sometimes stuff that sits right on my neck can just kind of feel claustrophobic. So I just do a little bit of a V. Now I will go ahead and say that these do not have any sort of built-in sports bra in these, okay? But that does not stop me from trying to add a little something there, okay? I did remove some cut pads from another sports bra and literally just stuck them there, zipped it right there, and they stayed in place the entire time that I went through a full back workout. So a lot of up and down, a lot of different movements. They stayed there completely fine the entire time, didn't move around or anything like that. So if you do need cut pads in these and you don't want to have to wear a sports bra underneath, I have seen some of the other girls wear sports bras underneath, and it actually looks really cute, especially if you do some of like the strappy backs that we're getting. Super, super cute way to wear these, especially if you need a sports bra underneath. However, for my smaller chested girlies that maybe don't need like the support necessarily, but you don't want to possibly be nipping, I just put some cut pads in there. While it does go all the way up, it does also go all the way down here. So I wouldn't really be playing with the zipper a whole lot, you know, in public. Get it set where you want it and then just leave it there. Yeah, because if you did go all the way down, I mean, I've seen some girls do it all the way down, completely up to you. I just feel like that's a little risking it for the biscuit for me. Now with these rompers, you are going to get a beautiful cap shoulder. I think these make your shoulders look huge. They just make your arms look huge in general. Like, what? I look like I just hit a lift, and I did not. I've just been trying on 1,001 clothes, but still, these look amazing. And then let me go ahead and show you the back, because the back is, she's so good. And here is the back of this bodysuit. I am obsessed. It's like fully backless. I love it. Love, 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 love it. And then with this bodysuit, it is going to be a short bodysuit, so it's not going to be like a full-length legging bodysuit. This one is going to cut off at the shorts. So bringing you guys down so that you can see the short portion of these bodysuits. This is what the front of the bodysuit is going to look like on, and this is what the back of the bodysuit is going to look like. You guys can see where the backless part ends here. You do get kind of like a little seam where your shorts would typically sit, and then you do get a single seam going down the butt cheeks. This is just going to give a little bit of separation to the glutes, but not necessarily provide like a full butt scrunch on these. And then with these bodysuits, we are going to get them in 4 different colorways. I of course have on the black colorway here. We're also going to get these in a brick brown and carbon green colorway. And in this bodysuit, I did choose to get it in a size small. I love the way that the small fits. Now I would say if you do have a longer torso, maybe go for a little bit of a bigger size than your typical size in like tops. I try to base my bodysuits off of my top size rather than my bottom size, just because I typically like my bodysuits to fit just a little bit more snug, especially in the top section. I usually like to wear bodysuits with sweats over them, so it's more like I'm just wearing like a top. If you do have a shorter torso, then go ahead and stay completely true to size on these. I will say that these can risk kind of pulling if you do have like a little bit of a longer torso, and it can sometimes cause a little bit of a camel toe action, okay? So if you notice that you are a little bit on the longer torso side, you might size up if you are in between sizes, but otherwise I would go ahead and stay true to size to whatever you are up top, as these are really, really stretchy stretchy on the bottom. You just don't want the top to be a little bit too big where it's kind of falling off. All right, and here's the new Motion Seamless Romper. Now this romper is not going to be a cap sleeve. This one is going to be like a tank top. It is going to have a razor back in the back. Now this one does come with a built-in sports bra on these, so you do get removable cut pads. You can either choose to leave those in or take those out, whatever you please. And then this is what the razor back on these is going to look like. You kind of get like an open back concept here, but you do kind of almost get like a razor back of what a sports bra would be. Now sports bras, typically the end strap ends about like right here on me. This does sit just a little bit higher, so this one does risk gaping a little bit right here, especially if you accidentally get a size too big. So for me, if you are in between sizes, I would suggest going for the smaller size rather than the bigger size, just because these are pretty stretchy, especially if you are on the smaller busted side. If you do have bigger bust, I think you're going to be able to just stick to whatever typical size you get sports bras. However, for my smaller busted girlies, these do seem to fit just a little bit loose around kind of the bust area, especially for me. So for me, it was my best option to go for a small rather than a medium like I sometimes typically get in my shorts. And then as far as details go, we do get a really compressive ribbed material around the midsection. So right here in the midsection, it is fitting me just a lot more snug and held in than the rest of it. The shorts portion is going to be extremely stretchy, and then the top portion is also going to be extremely stretchy. And then another super cool feature with this romper is they did give us a butt scrunch in this one. So you are going to get a butt scrunch in the shorts on these. It is not a super noticeable butt scrunch, but it does help give some separation to the glutes. And then of course you do get your metal emblem on the back here. And then these rompers are going to come in the same 4 colorways that the Backless bodysuit does. So we are going to get these in a black colorway, a brown colorway, which I have on here, a brick colorway, and carbon green colorway. Right, and next we have the new Motion Seamless Tank, which I have on here. This is going to come in 3 different colorways. I do have the black colorway on, but we are also going to get this in a brick as well as a carbon green colorway. Now these motionless tanks are going to come with a slightly ribbed band on the bottom here, and then the rest of it is going to be that kind of really seamless material like the shorts and leggings. This is going to be more of a high neck tank, and it is going to come back into kind of like a razor back. This is what the back of these motionless tanks are going to look like. With these are going to be more of like a cropped kind of tank. These are not going to have any sort of like sports bra built into them because, like I mentioned earlier, I am a part of the itty bitty committee. So for me, I don't really need an extra sports bra on underneath these, especially since I choose to get a size small. It feels compressive enough that I feel held in and I can wear this throughout the day. However, if you do want to wear a sports bra underneath, the other new sports bras that are going to be dropping are going to fit underneath this completely seamlessly. You won't be able to see them. They won't be poking out from the edges. Or like the Backless bodysuit, you can just take some cut pads out of another sports bra and place them inside of the sports bra if you just need a little bit of extra coverage. And like I mentioned earlier, I did choose to get this in a size small. I absolutely love the way that the small fits. I will go ahead and stay true to size to whatever you typically get in a sports bra. All right, and next we have the new Motion Seamless Shorts, which I have on here. We are going to get these in 7 different colorways. So I do have on the brown colorway here, but I did also get these in the brick colorway, the carbon green colorway, and the cream colorway. But we are also going to get these in a mint green and a pink colorway. And then going over the details of the shorts off body, you of course are going to get your Youngla into the back of these. This is not going to be anything that is rubberized. This is fully stitched into the fabric. It's not going to be like a fabric that can come off in the wash. It's going to stay on the shorts forever. And then of course we do get the kind of like V stitched seam that just helps add a little bit to your glutes. And as you can see, we do get a single seam down the glutes. However, it is not a butt scrunch, so you don't have to worry about a butt scrunch, but it does add separation to the cheeks. And then like the leggings, we do also get that kind of like shadowing on the edges. It just adds a little bit of contour to the edges of your glutes. And then we do get that kind of ribbed, a little bit more compressive waistband. But again, with these, like the leggings, the shorts are actually extremely stretchy. I did choose to get all of these shorts in a size small, and I'm glad that I did. Sometimes I am in between a small and a medium, and these are extremely stretchy. So I would go ahead and go with the smaller size if you are in between sizes. However, you can stay true to size on these. And then going over cellulite coverage and squat test, as you guys can see, I do have a little bit of cellulite here on my thighs. I do typically get a little bit of cellulite on my glutes. However, I'm not seeing it show through. So I would say that these do provide a good amount of cellulite coverage. And then going in for a squat test on these, I'm not seeing anything show through, so I would say that these do pass the squat test. And here is the brick colorway, again in a size small. And like with the Batman shorts, I did want to show you guys that I do kind of tend to pull my shorts up just a little bit. This is how the length is normally going to fit naturally on your body. This is the length that I choose to make my shorts, just because I like to put that band underneath my glutes to help them pop just a little bit more. And going over cellulite coverage, I do see just a tiny bit of rippling popping out from underneath the shorts here, but it is covering the other amount of rippling that I get on my thighs. And then I don't see any any rippling on my glutes, so I would say that these do provide a good amount of cellulite coverage. And then going in for a squat test. On these, I would say that these do pass the squat test. I'm not seeing anything show through. And then here is the carbon green colorway. As you can see, I do have rippling on my thighs here. However, I'm not seeing the rippling show through on my cheeks. So I would go ahead and say that these do provide a good amount of cellulite coverage. And here is a squat test in the green. I'm not seeing anything show through. I'm also seeing them not get super sheer as they stretch out. So these are going to be squat proof. All right, and here is the cream colorway. Now, as you guys can see, I do have some rippling here. And surprisingly, I'm not seeing any rippling show through on my glutes. Typically with lighter colors, they do tend to show a little bit more cellulite, but I'm assuming because of the material of these, the cellulite is not coming through. So I would say that the cream do provide a decent amount of cellulite coverage. And then going in for a squat test. On these, I'm not seeing anything show through. Now remember, I do have on nude underwear underneath. I would definitely suggest wearing nude underwear underneath any of the cream, mint, or pink colorways. But since this cream is going to be the lightest colorway, it means that all the like cellulite coverage and squat proofness of these is going to be the same as the mint green and the pink. So you should be clear on all the colorways, no matter which one you want to pick. You should be able to wear nude underwear or go commando and be perfectly fine. Up next, we have the new Motion Wrap Bra. Now we are gonna get these bras in 5 different colorways. I do of course have the pink colorway on here. We are also gonna get these in a carbon green, mint green, black, and cream colorway. And these sports bras are going to have a very gorgeous kind of like wrapped / twisted detailing in the front. These are 2 completely separate pieces, so they do layer on top of each other. We are going to get removable cup pads in these, so you can either choose to leave those in or take those out. And then as far as the support on these sports bras, I would say that these are going to be a very, very high support sports bra. You do get quite a bit of coverage with this. This is a size small, and I would say that the cup coverage on this compared to a typical small is a lot bigger. So I would say that even for my bigger chested girlies, you are going to have a lot of support with these sports bras in particular. And this is what the back of these sports bras are going to look like. I love the little bitty cutout here. I noticed that this one fits me just a little bit more compressive than the other sports bras that we get. Like I mentioned earlier, I did choose to stick to my typical size small in these. I would go ahead and say true to size on these. All right, and up next we have the new Vital Flare leggings. We're gonna get these in 5 different colorways. I do have the brick colorway on hand as well as the carbon green colorway. But we are gonna get these in a brown, cream, and black colorway. With these, we are gonna get them in both a regular length and a short length. Now, since I am 5'8", I do choose to get a regular length, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring you guys down to show you what the length looks like on me. All right, this is what the regular length and the Vital Flares looks like on me. Like I mentioned earlier, I am 5'8", so these are hitting at the perfect length for me. My shorter girls can always get the shorter length, of course. Be sure to go to the size chart on the website, and it will tell you exactly how long the inseam is, and that's what you can base your sizing off of. I personally choose to get a size medium in the Vital Flares. However, I could probably do a size small, but as far as length goes, I want to make sure that the length is there, so I do choose to stick to a size medium versus a small. We are of course going to get that V taper in from the Vital. These are going to be kind of a little overlapped in the front, and then we are not going to get any butt scrunch on these. However, there is going to be a single seam that goes down the cheeks, and then we are also going to get kind of a V-stitch seam to add some curvature to the glute. In my opinion, these fit just like the Vital Flares that we've gotten in the past. However, they have new colorways, and they have created a regular and a short form in these, where it used to be only 1 length in these. And then going over cellulite coverage on these, I'm not really seeing a whole lot of cellulite show through on my glutes or my thighs. However, I would be wary just because these are a thinner fabric. And then going for a squat test in these, I'm not seeing anything show through, so I would say that these do pass the squat test. And here is the carbon green colorway. Going over cellulite coverage, I'm not really seeing anything come through on my thighs or on my glutes, so I would say that these provide a pretty good amount of cellulite coverage. The darker colorways like the carbon green and the black, you should be completely in the clear. Here is a squat test in the green. I'm not seeing anything show through, so I would say that these do pass these squat tests as well. And next up, we have the new Motion halter bras, which I have on here. We are gonna get these in 7 different colorways. So I of course have on the brick colorway here, but I did also snag it in the black colorway, pink colorway, and the mint green colorway. But we are also gonna get these in the brown, carbon green, and cream colorway. And then really quickly going over the details of these sports bras off body, we are going to get a halter neck on these. However, the halter neck is going to be fully adjustable, so you can tighten and loosen the neck portion as much much as you need. And then the back of these sports bras is going to do a very pretty, like kind of crisscrossy detail. This does kind of look like a very open back design, but to make sure that you have plenty of support and these bands don't just all kind of collapse together, there's kind of like a hard wire piece in here, almost like the underwire of a regular bra, but it's only on the sides here. So on this side, it has the wire and this side as well. So it keeps the integrity of the side of your sports bra, but you don't risk everything just kind of bunching up into one. And then with these sports bras, we are of course going to get removable cup pads. You can either choose to leave those in or take those out. And then this is what the back detailing looks like on body. I love these sports bras and I think they look super, super gorgeous on the body. In these, I did choose to get my typical size small. I would suggest staying true to size on these, especially since you do have an adjustable halter top. And here is the mint green colorway in comparison to the carbon green colorway. And this of course is what the back of the mint green is going to look like. And then here is the pink colorway and the back of the pink colorway. And lastly, the black colorway and the back of the black colorway. And next up, we have the new colorways of the Core Luxe tanks. So we have dropped the Core Luxe tanks in the past. They were in kind of like a coral, dark gray, kind of like a turquoisey blue. However, Youngla for her is bringing the fall and winter colorways in for Black Friday. So we are going to get these in 5 different colorways. I do have the black colorway on here, but I do also have the brown colorway on hand. And in both of these tanks, I did choose to get a size small. They fit just like the other Core Luxe tanks. They have the same logoing and the same razor back. There is going to be a fully built-in sports bra underneath the layer of the tank top on these. They do come with removable cup pads. You can either choose to leave those in or take those out, whatever you need. And then here is the brown colorway. Again, I got these both in a size small. I would go ahead and stay true to size to what you typically get in sports bras or any tanks, baby tees, anything like that. Are also going to get these in a carbon green colorway, pink, and cream colorway. All right, and up next we have the new Motion tennis skirts. We are going to get these in 4 different colorways. I of course have on the pink colorway here. We are also going to get these in the carbon green colorway, as well as a black and a cream colorway. Going over all the detail of these skirts off body, this is what the skirt is going to look like. You are going to get 2 seams going along the sides of the edges. And then the back of the skirt is going to have kind of a single seam. That's going to be your indicator that that is the back of the skirt, as well as kind of like this little stitching here. And the waistband on these is going to be a single band, but it's more compressive material than the rest of the skirt. And then these skirts are going to come with built-in shorts underneath, and these built-in shorts are going to have pockets on both sides. And these skirts, I did choose to get them in a size small, and this is how a size small fits on me. I absolutely love these. I feel like they're the perfect length. Sometimes whenever skirts are just a little bit too long, they look a little odd. Also, whenever skirts are a little bit too short, you run the risk of flashing somebody. So I love the length of these. Really love the fact that the shorts have pockets underneath these, and these are a nice, soft, stretchy material. And then this is what the carbon green skirt looks like in a size small. Again, love the way that these fit. And then along with all these Motion seamless pieces, we are also going to be getting Motion compression tees. These are going to fit like your typical compression tee from Youngla for her as far as sizing goes. However, it is going to be that new super stretchy second skin-like material. We're also going to get some Motion power leggings. Now these leggings are going to be more like that buttery soft, almost Lululemon-like material. We're also going to be getting some Motion long sleeves, some Vital sports bras in new colorways. So just like the Vital flares, they're going to fit exactly the same as the previous Vital sports bras. However, these are just going to be in some new fall colorways, and the Motion pullover. Now with the Motion pullover, I did model this in a shoot for Youngla for her, and the outside material looks like just like your typical athletic material. However, the inside is like a felty kind of material, almost like fleece lined material. So it is just a little bit stiff. I will go ahead and warn you guys. So if you are kind of like a bigger armed girl, go ahead and size up in those. Otherwise, they're going to be just a little bit too snug. For me personally, the way that they were fitting didn't really work well on my body because my waist is a lot smaller than like my back upper body portion to my arms. So for me, I did choose to pass on these Motion pullovers. And now it's time for us to move into more of the lifestyle wear from Youngla for her. Starting off with these new Heritage long sleeve tees. We are going to get these tees in 4 different colorways. They are all going to be long sleeves. They are all going to come with the same kind of like striped pattern going on. However, they're going to come in 4 different colorways. So we are going to get this white and carbon green colorway. We are also going to get a black colorway, a heather gray colorway, and a white and pink colorway. And in this long sleeve, I did choose to get it in a size large for an oversized fit. So this is how a size large fits on me, and I do have on the carbon green skirt underneath. I think this is just like a cute little way to dress it up. Now, personally, if I am going to be wearing it with the skirt, I probably should have done a medium. However, you can wear the carbon green flares or the carbon green leggings or even the carbon green shorts underneath these, and it's gonna go with the carbon green that's on the top. And then as far as details go, this is going to be kind of like a really nice, soft, stretchy material. This honestly reminds me a lot of like the floral skull tees or the Popeye tees. There's just more of like a stretchy, thicker material. And then these stripes are going to be a stitched on piece of fabric, so it is going to be kind of like double lined in these areas. And then of course you are going to get a stitched in Youngla athletic department on the front of these. Next up, we're going to be getting some vintage windbreakers. I think these are so stinking cute. I love a good little like throwback piece. You're gonna get these in 4 different colorways. I do have the olive colorway on here. We're also gonna get these in a black colorway, a burgundy colorway, and a pink colorway. And then in this windbreaker, I did choose to get it in a size large. So this is how a size large fits on me. And of course the outside is going to be that kind of like windbreaker like material. And then the inside is going to be that mesh material that we typically get on the inside of track pants. And then to go with these windbreakers, we are also going to be getting some matching track pants. These are going to fit and feel just like any of your other track pants, or they are going to come in the same 4 colorways as the jacket, so you can make a full matching fit. Sadly, I couldn't snag the color that I wanted to match with the top, but I really wanted the green top. So here we are. We don't have any of the track pants, but I can tell you that they do fit similar to the track pants that we've gotten in the past. And for sizing reference with the track pants, I would have gotten a size large because they are kind of like that little bit stiffer windbreaker like material. I like them to be just a little bit more on the baggy side, so I do size up to a large in those. All right, and up next we have the new Layover hoodies. We're gonna get these in 8 different colorways. I do currently have on the gray camo colorway. This is going to be the only camo colorway that we get in these. And then I did also happen to grab the pink colorway. But we are also going to be getting a black, brown, carbon green, brick cream, and heather gray colorway in all of these as well. And in both of the hoodies, I did choose to get a size large. So this is how a size large is fitting on me. I will go ahead and tell you guys that these do run just a little bit more like oversized. The bottom of these doesn't really bunch. They fit kind of just a little bit more straight. And this is how the large fits whenever I don't like hold it up on my hands. Now, I love an oversized hoodie, so the large does not bother me at all, but I would probably go ahead and stay true to size on these if you want it to fit you more like your typical hoodie, because the midsection of these is just a little bit more oversized than your typical hoodie. And then the inside material of these hoodies is going to be a super soft cottony material, so you don't have to worry about them being a terry material. These are going to be nice and cozy for the winter coming up. All right, and here is the pink colorway. Again, I did choose to get this one in a size large, so this is how a size large fits on me. I like it. It's nice and oversized. And as far as detail goes on all of these hoodies, we are going to get the same kind of like Youngla stitching in the front, same hoodie pockets in the front, as well as a hood, and then same material throughout all of these. They're all going to be a really soft cottony material. All right, and now moving on to the new Layover joggers. As you guys can see, I did get the matching set to the gray camo of the hoodie. So these are the gray camo joggers. I do also have the pink joggers to match the hoodie that I'm currently wearing. Now, in these joggers, they are going to be that same material on the inside, and they are going to come in the same 8 colorways as the hoodies that I went over. So everything you can make a complete matching set. Now with joggers, I typically size up to a size large, which is what I did in these. However, the size large is still just a little bit too big for me. I do have to roll the waistband once in order for them to actually fit on my waist, and they do run just a little bit longer than your typical jogger. So for me, I wish I would have stuck to my typical size medium in these. I would go ahead and suggest staying true to size on these. Even if you typically like a really baggy leg, they are going to come with a really baggy leg all on their own, so you don't need to size up on these. And then as far as detail goes on these, we are going to get this little stitched in Youngla here. You are going to get drawstrings, and then on the side of the leg, you are going to get that same stitched in kind of like logo that you do on the hood. All right, and here is the pink colorway of the joggers on. Again, I did choose to get these in a size large, so I do have to roll the waistband once in order for them to not be too long past my ankles, and also so that they don't fall off my waist. Same material on the inside though, super soft, fuzzy, cottony. And we of course do get the same stitching and detailing across all of the sweats. All right, and now moving on to the new Layover shorts. We are gonna get these in 3 different colorways. So I do have on the pink colorway here, but we are also gonna get these in a black as well as a heather gray colorway. Now in these shorts, I did choose to get them in a size medium. These are gonna be that same kind of super soft, cottony, fuzzy feeling on the inside. These do feel like sweats. They're just a short version of sweats. We are gonna get that same stitched in logoing that we get on the hoodies in these. And then this is how the medium shorts look and fit on me without me rolling them. As you guys can see, the legs are are pretty oversized on these, so I could have sized down to a size small. However, I do like the way that they look when they're rolled. So here is what rolling the waistband looks like on these. And personally, I love the amount of fabric that I have so that they're not too short. So for me, I love the size medium in these. I stayed true to size to my typical sweat size, and I love the way that these fit and feel. All right, and next up we have the new OTG pullovers. These are going to be a quarter zip style pullover, so there is not going to be any hood. We are going to get hidden pockets on the sides, and they are fully zippable. And on all the colorways, we are going to get the same like Youngla logoing. We are going to get these in 6 different colorways. I do have on the heather gray colorway here. We are also going to get these in a black, brown, carbon green, cream, and green colorway. And in this pullover, I did choose to get it in a size large. So this is how a size large fits on me. I love it. I feel like it's the perfect amount of oversized. So if you want to get an oversized size, you of course can. However, you can stay true to size on these, and they're gonna fit you just like any other like hoodie typically would from Youngla for her. The inside material is going to be kind of like a softer terry material, so it is still that kind of terry material, and these are a little bit more lightweight than your typical hoodie from Youngla. All right, and next up we have the new matching OTG straight leg joggers. These of course are going to be an open leg sweat. These are not going to be joggers. And I did of course choose to get the matching heather gray colorway to go with the pullover. However, these are going to come in the same 6 colorways that I mentioned for the tops, so you can make matching sets with all of them. Then in these joggers, I did choose to get a size medium, and I am glad I stuck with the size medium. They're like the perfect amount of like baggy in the legs, but I do feel like the waistband actually fits me really good. We do have drawstrings with these, but if you are on the shorter side and you're worried about the length of these, you can just roll the waistband. It will bring the pants up about 2 inches. We are going to get this logoing across all of the colorways on these sweats. Inside material of these sweats is going to match the pullover, so it is going to be kind of like a lighter weight, softer terry material. And next up we have the new off-shoulder pullovers. I think these are so gorgeous. They do have a little bit of a wider cut neck, so they are going to be a little bit more off the shoulder. I choose to pull mine off to the shoulder one side just a little bit more than the other. And then in these pullovers, we are going to get them in 5 different colorways / designs, so each colorway is going to kind of be a different design on the front. This one here is the off-white colorway. But we are also going to get these in a black colorway, carbon green colorway, a gray colorway, and pink colorway. I choose to get it in a size large, so this is how a large fits on me. I absolutely love it. I think it's like the perfect amount of oversized, but as always, you guys can stay true to size on these. And then the inside material of these, again, is going to be kind of like a terry-ish material. However, I want you to think just a little bit thinner than your typical terry material. Up next, we have the new Stella jerseys. We are going to get these jerseys in 3 different colorways. Of course, have on the pink colorway here, but we are also going to get these in a white and a black colorway. I do have to tell you guys, the material on these is so different from any other jersey that we've gotten from Youngla in the past. These are like super stretchy, and like they feel really good on the skin. They're not rough. They're nice and like silky. I love these jerseys. These are my favorite jersey that Youngla or Youngla for her has ever made. Like, I love the material of these. Now, of course, the design on the front and the back is going to be exactly the same across all of the colorways. Essentially, you're just choosing which color you like best. So this is what the front of the jerseys is going to look like. And then this is what the back of the jerseys is going to look like. As you guys can probably tell, I did choose to get this in an oversized size. So this is their biggest size that they make. This is an extra large. Personally, for me, even if my guys want to get a size extra large, this is fitting me like how a size 2XL would fit me on the men's side. Like a size 2XL t-shirt would fit me on the men's side. These are not going to be cropped by any means, and the sleeves aren't any shorter than your typical t-shirt from Youngla. So as far as sizing goes, these are quite oversized. If you want, go ahead and stay true to size, or you could be like me and get a ridiculous oversized, but I think these are so comfy and cute. I am in love with these. And next we have the new notch long sleeve tops. I love these tops. It's like so soft and stretchy, but yet it like forms to the arms nicely. Like, it doesn't feel uncomfortable. I could wear this for hours on end, and again, I wouldn't be able to tell if I had like a long sleeve on. You know how sometimes long sleeves can just really nag, especially in like the armpits and the arms. Now, ignore the bra that I have on underneath this. I probably wouldn't wear this one in particular. However, the Camo Urban bras, the white kind of like tan beige color one, works perfectly underneath this. You can't really see it at all, and you can just move the straps out just a tiny little bit, and then you don't even see the straps. But you do get this beautiful like big swoop neck on these. I mean, you get like a little mini swoop as well. I am obsessed. And then these are kind of like a nice ribbed, stretchy material. These are so, so beautiful. And these are gonna come in 4 different colorways. I do have the white colorway on here, but you are also gonna get these in a brown, black, and gray colorway. And in these tops, I did choose to get a size small. I would go ahead and stay true to size to what you typically would in any like tops from Youngla for her. Next, we have the new Camo straight cargo jeans. I love these. These are only going to come in 1 colorway, and this is what that camo colorway is going to look like. Of course, you are going to get your typical cargo pockets on these, and then these are going to be a little bit more of like a low rise. This is not going to be a super, super long kind of like zipper here. And on the inside, we are going to get these adjustable straps on both sides. I love when Youngla for her does this. Typically in jeans, I am a size small. However, I had to go for a size medium just due to the length. So since I am 5'8", this is the perfect length for me. So since they gave us the adjustable bands on both sides, I just cinched them in a whole bunch so that they fit my waist perfectly, and they also fit the length of my legs great. So with these pants in particular, I would go ahead and choose what size is going to fit your length the best, and then you can always tighten the bands on the inside. Of course, this is what the back of the camo pants are going to look like. You do get your cargo pockets on these. And then on the bottom of these pants, we do get kind of like a little adjustable piece here. You can tie these in and actually make them fit more like joggers than an open leg pant. All right, and up next we have the new contour dress. We are gonna get these in 2 different colorways. I do have the black colorway on here, but we are also gonna get these in a brown colorway. And then in this contour dress, I did choose to get a size small. So this is how a size small fits on me. I absolutely love it. It literally just feels like a super, super long ribbed tank top. As you guys can see, the material of this dress is going to be ribbed, and it is going to be a really, really nice stretchy material. You're gonna get a white lining on both of the colorways, and you are also gonna get the stitched in LA on the front of these. We'll go ahead and mention that there is no built-in bra on these or shorts underneath. So if you need just a little bit more coverage to feel a little bit more secure in a dress, you can go ahead and wear a sports bra underneath these, since it is a little bit more of like a razor back. I think it looks just as pretty, and you can wear some shorts underneath as well if you are worried about flashing anybody. All right, and next up we have the new off-track jacket. This is going to be the leather jacket from Youngla for her. I am absolutely obsessed with this. I did purposely get it in a size large so that it is more oversized and fit just a little bit longer, but you can stay true to size on these if you want them to fit you just a little bit more snug. And then of course the outside material is going to be that leathery material, and then the inside is going to be that nice silky soft material that you typically get inside of leather jackets. Quickly wanted to just give you guys a full spin of the leather jacket in a size large. All right, and up next are the new Alpine Sherpa jackets. They are going to be a Sherpa material on the outside, kind of like a fleece material on the inside. These are going to be a really, really super thick winter coat jacket. So for any of my girls that are based in a really, really cold area and you need a nice winter jacket, this one's definitely for you. These are going to come in 3 different colorways. I of course have the brown colorway on here, but it is also going to come in like a pink and white colorway, as well as a carbon green colorway. And then in this jacket, I did choose to get a size medium. So this is how a size medium fits on me. As you guys can see, there's like kind of different shades going on between the 2 browns. That's how it'll be with like the white and the pink, and then as well as the carbon green. The carbon green is kind of more of like a solid green colorway. You are still gonna have the like stitching difference. However, the color difference isn't really gonna be there. All right, and up next we have the new wavy hoodies. We are gonna get these hoodies in 3 different colorways. I do have on the gray colorway here, but we are also gonna get it in a cream and a black colorway. Now all of the colorways are gonna have this kind of like wavy like stitching all throughout them. You are gonna get the same logo on the pockets. You're gonna get your typical hoodie pocket as well as your typical hood on these. And the inside material of these is going to be a super, super soft, lightweight kind of like cottony material. I absolutely love the way that these hoodies fit and feel. And this hoodie, I did choose to get it in a size large. So this is how a size large fits on me. Of course, this is purposely oversized for me. You can stay true to size on these. However, I am loving the way that the large is fitting. It's like super oversized, especially in like the armpit area. I love whenever stuff is like oversized there. It just makes me feel like extra roomy, and like I could wear layers underneath this if I need to. I love these hoodies. They're so stinking cozy. All right, and the next item that we have are the new Motion duffels, which I have here. We are gonna get these in 2 different colorways. This is the cream colorway, and then we are also gonna get these in a carbon green colorway. I love how little and cutie patootie these are. Now it does have little like magnetic covering pockets right here. It's mesh on this side and this side. And then of course you do get the inside of the bag. It does have like a nice silky material in there, and you do get plenty of pockets and stuff like that in there. And then you do get 2 choices of straps on these. You can either choose to carry it like this by the little mini handles, or you do get an adjustable long strap here so you can carry it like your typical just kind of off the shoulder little bag. Alrighty, my taters, well that is everything that I have from the Youngla for her side of the Black Friday drop. That is not everything that is going to be dropping. We are also going to be getting some contour tanks, an OTG skirt, camo long sleeve jersey, starlight hoodie, barrel jeans, a Selena denim jacket, a Motion windbreaker, and new colorways of the padded thongs that they've released in the past. Not to mention they're also going to be restocking a ton of items like the urban camo sets that just dropped, the sports bras and shorts, and the Elevate collection that had like the teal and the grape colorway with the white outline, all that jazz. Those are all going to be restocking, as well as a bunch of other pieces. If you guys have any questions about the pieces that are restocking or dropping, please feel free to ask. I am more than happy to answer any questions that you guys may have. I will go ahead and leave the preview links to both the new drop and the restock that is going to be happening on the 25th. That way you guys can go ahead and plan for your buy the day that the Black Friday sale goes live. And they do also provide you guys with the pricing that it will be when you use a code while you're scrolling on the website. So that way you guys can also budget what you need to. I hope this little try on haul was helpful for you guys. As always, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to either drop them down below in the comments, message me over on my Instagram, or message me over on my Snapchat. I am more than happy to answer any questions that you guys may have. And as always, don't forget to use code TATER, especially during the Black Friday sale, as it is going to save you 30% off of your entire purchase. This is the time to really stock up on any items that you might have missed in the past, or maybe you want to try it out for a cheaper price and see if you really like the pieces. So if you're gonna go ahead and shop gym wear, you might as well get it at a cheaper price. As always, if you guys could pretty please let me know whenever you do use my code. Send me screenshots through Instagram or anything like that, because I want to thank you guys. I wouldn't be able to do any of this without you, and I really do mean it whenever I say that you guys like make my whole world go round. I couldn't do a thing without you guys, so thank you, thank you, thank you. I personally would love to thank you. I love you all so much. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Y'all are real troopers for sticking through this, especially if you watch both the men's and the women's. Y'all are some true taters right there. I gotta give it to you. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you later, taters. Sadly, there is not going to be any bloopers for this one. I think I've already taken up enough of your time with this entire haul. So yeah, no bloopers today, but I love you bunches, and I will see you on the next one.